Hello, this is Harwin from SEO Wolf podcast. This is an interesting topic here. A lot of, not really the beginning, but over time, the intermediate and advanced people might be coming across this question regarding what is regarding they might be feeling if they are manipulating or they might having some cases where they're thinking that I'm maybe manipulating is a good thing, a bad thing, or they realize that they're using sales techniques and marketing techniques, and they are essentially kind of manipulating. And the culture, it kind of has a bad word, it has a bad rep that someone is a manipulator and those kind of things, and rightly so for bad things. But you have to realize what exactly is manipulation when we talk about it. So, a lot of financial people and those kind of gurus, they have a saying where they say there is two types of debt. One is good debt and a bad debt, and those kind of things. A lot of things have their good side and bad sides. It's how you use them according to their power. So manipulation is also such. Basically, what it means is to move. To manipulate is to move from something. So it can be good or bad depending on the person that's using it and depending on what they're selling and those kind of things. In itself, a lot of my podcasts also might be sharing sales techniques and those kind of things. In itself, I don't think anything is bad there, but if it is used or good or bad, this is something that I cannot control, or we as marketers we cannot control. We can just try our best to persuade people, but that they do the right thing. And if someone thinks that if someone can persuade someone and sell good things and make money from them, I think in a long term it is better that they might, if they have to choose, a lot of people, I think they might choose the life of doing the selling something that is good and living a good life than being forced into or thinking that doing something bad is the only option that they have. So that is why also this skills are needed for people. And manipulate, saying back to it, saying manipulate is to move. So a lot of times a young mother is also manipulates her kid to do the right thing. She manipulates him to eat healthy food. She manipulates their children to wake up on time, go to school, do their homework, and those kind of things. She might use praises. She might use some punishments. She might use something like, if you do this, you'll get a cookie, or you'll get this, that, those kind of things. But and in nature also, uh, what it means is to manipulate is to move. So if you're cutting a plant or changing something, that is technically called manipulate. But if you're doing something bad, it is bad. I'm not telling that if you're manipulating something for your own good that does not serve other people or makes them bad, you are a bad person, you should not do this, and those kind of things. But the thing is, if you're doing something good or bad, whatever you do, these maybe the sales techniques, the marketing techniques, and whatever you might think, this really some people have this NLP, and a lot of things with this, if it is SEO, whatever, these are just tools at the end of the day. They themselves are not good or bad. We as marketers uh, who have studied this tools and technologies and psychology, we're just making efficient use of these tools, and they themselves are not good as bad as a gun that is used to protect a country and a gun that is used to kill someone. So at the end of the day, the gun is neutral. So just like this, these tools, they're not as destructive as a gun, but they're just tools at the end of the day, this marketing and persuasion. And it is up to you. And even if you're knowing these tools and skills and those kind of things, at the end of the day, the choice is yours, and the decisions that you take as a man, as a person, there might be females also listening to them, but I'll just refer to that as a man. So, the decisions you take as a man will define you over time, and these are your decisions. No marketer, persuader, anything. You cannot copy anyone for those kind of things. At the end of the day, the wisdom and good judgment has to come from you. There's no book where you can read all these things from, or any techniques or anything that we have here. End of the day, the judgment is up to you, and the judgment and wisdom, it comes from this. You can find your own things. I'm not a someone who's an authority on that. So maybe you could those religious texts are a good place to start if you're looking for the wisdom and psychology and philosophy and those kind of things. So wisdom and maybe reading history and those kind of things might give you a better wisdom or judgment. But these are just tools, so don't blame them, or don't think that it's bad or good. It is just that, just like a movie can be used to persuade someone to do good or to do bad. So end of the day, these are just tools, and don't shy away from them, or think that I don't want to do any bad things, and it's the bad people that study all the marketing, and there's some spiritual text that just say marketers are this bad people, and this marketing has done this those kind of things. So it is kind of let's say associated with the bad things, and there are some bad things also that happen, that we think that it's a lot of times human psychology is exploited. But at the end of the day, I think people buy according to their own free will, and the same kind of marketing can be used to do good and bad at the same time. So at the same time, these are tools, not something that defines it. And I think it is more important now than ever, for if you're a good person or if you're doing the right thing, I think it is your moral responsibility to make sure that you do everything in your power to learn these tools and techniques, so that you can help your customers and the people who need your message the best, and guide them towards something that is good and the right thing. So I think you should be not be afraid of it, and you should embrace these things. And I'm also sure that a lot of people will still think that this is not something they can do, and a lot of people do have this kind of things. So it kind of stops also. It is something that defines whether a person maybe reaches that level of success as a persuader or influencer, is this attitude they have towards influence and persuasion and manipulation. So that is also one of the things. If you're looking to get to the next level, this is a lot of times, this is where people get stuck at intermediate level. It's not for basic beginners, they don't really think about this, but this is something that you have to realize, and you have to see it for what it is, and don't get jammed up between whether this is good or bad. And this you see, a lot of don't like to go into religious and those kind of things, but they also are spreading a message, and telling people to be persuading people to ideas to do the good things and those kind of things. So at the end of the day, they are also selling a message, and there are also techniques that they use to persuade people to do good. And a lot a lot of times marketers also get a lot of their ideas from there, but that's not the point. But thing is, manipulation in itself is not bad. If you manipulate towards good or bad, that is up to your ethics, and I suggest you do. Nothing will happen if I suggest something or not. There's no authority here, but I might persuade you to use this for your good, and that's all. I can just hope. Anyways, this is I made this so that if you're a good person or an ethical person who is thinking about whether to listen to this podcast, whether to or other podcasts, if you to learn marketing or get into this deep and think whether it is good or bad, uh, whether you should do it or not. So they might have this cognitive by dissonance that why you should they should do it or not. So this podcast here is to tell you about those things, what might be going through your mind here, because I know what is might be going on. So I've previously faced this, and I know how it is. So that is all. Uh, so end of the day, realize that it is tools, and if you think that you're using these tools for bad, it's time to stop and focus on your ethics and those kind of things instead of just blaming everything on marketing and sales and techniques and those kind of things. So that's all. Thank you for listening. This is Harwin from SEO signing off.